Hey everyone, how's it going? It's That Nerd Ryan here, and today we're going to try to figure out what's the best way to introduce somebody to Star Wars. Um, Me and somebody were having a conversation, and they were trying to figure out their way that they'd want to be introduced, and they were asking for my opinion, so I figured, why not make a video? So I've introduced, I think, like 3 people to Star Wars, and I've done it in different ways all the time. I did it in release order. I did it in chronological, and then for some reason somebody wanted me to do it backwards. So that was back when Episode 7 just came out. And then we would do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I have no idea why they wanted to do that, but that's the way that we did it. Anyways, so this is going to be my personal opinion on what I think the best way to do it is. And I would say the easiest way to say it is release order. And we're also, by the way, going into this as like including the shows. I wouldn't say video games and books because that's like way too much to put on there. But yeah, we're just going to talk about the movies and the shows today. So for the movies, the way I see it is it should be the original trilogy, the prequels, the sequels, then the spin-offs. And why I say it like that is because if you watch it in release order for the complete trilogy, the original saga, you still get the shock of I Am Your Father, you still get the, you kind of feel the prequels are backstories, and also it's like a good way to introduce somebody with A New Hope instead of Phantom Menace, because people will get lost on Phantom Menace sometimes if it's not their cup of tea. And the prequels do have a lot of established lore that needs to be understood by watching the original trilogy. So I feel that putting the original trilogy before the prequels is important, because basically what it is it's working with the established lore of the original trilogy and the prequels, but it's also giving backstory of the original with those prequels as well. So it would be smart to do that. Then next you move on to the sequel trilogy. You don't watch it as release order for that because 1, it's too much jumping around, it will get too much confusion, and 2, it's just easier that way. Although like Solo does kind of tie into Episode 8, and Rogue One does hint at something in Episode 8 as well, it's not super important for somebody that is not like a super Star Wars nerd like me. But yeah, so after you finish the prequels, you should jump over to the sequels. And I mean, while I dislike Rise of Skywalker, I do feel that it is necessary to wrap up the story. So you do have to watch all 3. With that, you already have the established of the first 6 movies, and it's kind of showing this new era of Star Wars on how things are going to look. Now, after that, you can watch the spin-offs, which are a great way to lead into the shows as well. So, obviously, if you're introducing somebody to Star Wars, you have to explain when these shows and when these spin-offs take place. So obviously you want to do Rogue One first. I prefer Rogue One first because it's the better of the 2. It's probably the best Disney Star Wars movie, and at the end of Episode 9 you'll be wanting to go back to the original trilogy era, and this is the best way to go back to that. Next would be Solo. Just explain that 10 years after Revenge of the Sith and stuff. Obviously, what I would do is I would prompt, hey, did you like Han Solo and Lando Calrissian enough to want to see a movie about them? And they go, yeah, sure. Then you do it. Because Solo still isn't as important as Rogue One to the rest of the series. Then after that, just the way I'm explaining this is to be what if you're introducing it to somebody off the street, somebody normal. Not saying that Star Wars fans aren't normal or like. I mean, if you have like, what I mean by this is if you have an animation fan, then sure, go chronological order for the TV shows. But if you have somebody that's not like big into animation and everything, go straight for The Mandalorian once you start the shows. Obviously, it would be a better way to do that, just because that way it's live action. You got Grogu's. I mean, you can start with The Mandalorian even before the movies, just on the fact of Grogu can get people hooked. But yeah, after that, Book of Boba Fett, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi. So release orders for the shows. And if they do want to watch animation after that, do Clone Wars, Bad Batch, then Rebels. That way, again, release order so it makes sense. And then with all those, obviously you have to say when they take place, just so it's understanding, because when me and my ex watched The Mandalorian, she literally thought it took place 900 years before Phantom Menace, just due to the fact that Grogu was called Baby Yoda at the time. So yeah, I mean, it's understandable that you have to explain when stuff happens as well. After that, I'd say the Star Wars Christmas special. That way they will never watch Star Wars again. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. What is your preferred measurement of, or way of watching the Star Wars movies? Also, make sure that you guys follow me on all my social media down below. It's That Nerd Ryan telling you, have an amazing day.